Welcome to TICE. Today I have with me Mr. Anuj Kacker. He is the Executive Committee Member of Digital Lenders Association of India. He is also the co-founder of Freo. So welcome Anuj.
Thank you.
Anuj, since we are at the 6th Digital Lenders Association of India conclave, so how do you think such gatherings really add value to the industry?
Right. Thank you for having this conversation. So the DLAI, which is the Digital Lenders Association of India, is an industry body. So we actually have people from across the spectrum that help in the world of digital lending. But even beyond that, in the larger world of fintech, we have over hundreds and hundreds of startups who are here, small and big. We have people who are just thinking about starting up, so they are figuring out what is the right way or what models to work. We have ton of bank and partners or NBFC partners, PSU banks, a lot of the lending capital partners who work with all these fintech companies. They are here. So, some of them we work with, for example. So I meet my partners here. Some of the people that we were in conversation with, then you end up having a conversation here about what the future of business could look like. You have a lot of people from the industry regulatory body. For example, you have people from SIDBI, you have people from the RBI, you have people from NPCI. So a lot of the industry ecosystem bodies that shape what the policies could be, they are here. So it's easy to have a conversation with them. And you have everybody else who's a participant in this. So for example, even law firms and regulatory firms and tax firms who help these companies do better, to make sense of what the regulations are. They are here. And so it becomes like a melting pot of a lot of ideas. And I think we're able to get everybody together. We do this annual conclave once a year, and then we do an unconclave in the middle of the year. So it's a great way of just reconnecting with everybody in the industry and understanding what's happening and what's not, and what's coming, what are the fears, what are the successes, what are the failures, what are the learnings, and how we can take it forward.
Also, coming to the industry, Indian DPIs have seen a tremendous growth over the years. So what are some key changes that you think have impacted this industry?
So when you say DPI, I presume you're talking about the digital public infrastructure.
Right.
So I think, the Aadhaar, the India stack on which is the bedrock of what the DPI is, right? So it allows everybody to have a way of identifying a customer and authenticating the customer. At the heart of it, that's what it means, right? And with the consent of the customer. So there's no problem as far as you're not taking the right consent from the customer and you're not plagiarizing his or her data. So I think the DPI plays a big role in that. My view is that what's happened with the DPIs is that they have removed the friction of onboarding a customer, okay? And it has made standardized processes for everyone. So let's say 5, 7, 10 years ago, when most of the newer companies starting off, a lot of the work was on process-led innovation. Right? I can do it in 10 minutes vis-a-vis, I can do it in 10 days. Today, a lot of the process-related innovation has now moved to using DPIs. You can use what part of the DPI, you can use it in a sequence of A, B, and C, or A, C, B, or B, A, C, depending on what your profile is. But that has allowed you to reduce significantly the onboarding costs, because it's publicly available. Everybody understands, everybody believes it, everybody trusts it. So there's one KYC. Do it this way and you're okay. So it's reduced the onboarding cost significantly. And it has standardized some of the process. So now everybody, including us, has to think harder on why should me. I mean, 5 years ago, you were coming to me because your process was better, you had a cool app. That's not true anymore. Everybody has the same process.
True.
So I think DPIs have really helped us evolve how the products and focus on the real value proposition of what we can offer customers.
So Anuj, UPI is a common concept now, but at Freo you have UPI on credit.
Yep.
So can you just quickly brief the audience what is UPI on credit?
Sure. So everybody understands UPI. All of us, you and I, both use UPI. So you go and scan a QR code in the market and you want to pay, let's say, 50 rupees for some medicines you buy.
Right.
That 50 rupees is coming from your bank account that is linked to the UPI handle. Could be any your personal savings bank. Now, when you scan the QR code, and if you are using the Freo app, and since you asked me what specifically about Freo, and you want to use the credit on UPI option, when you scan the QR code using the Freo app, that 50 rupees will come not from your bank account, but from a credit account, right? Which means that you may not necessarily have that 50 rupees in your bank account, but I'm ready to give you an option to pay me back at the end of the month, right? So that's called credit on UPI. So the earlier one was a debit on UPI, now it's a credit on UPI. Now, the flavors of credit on UPI are twofold. One is through a RuPay credit. So you get approved for a RuPay credit card. We have partnered with Yes Bank to take that to our customers. And once you take the 50 rupees, that comes from your credit card. So instead of swiping the credit card, you just do scan the QR code, but it still comes from a credit card at the back. The second way is a credit line or a line of credit that a bank will give you. You can pull from that.
Okay.
So these are the two ways you can get the credit. UPI rails is the way to deliver the credit.
Okay. So, like while this is a relatively new term, but it is catching up really fast.
Yeah.
So, like, what is the market potential do you see for the same in future?
Oh, it's immense, right? So, we all know the volumes of UPI, but they keep increasing every month. If you just take a small sliver of that and convert that into a pay, I should not say pay later because it's not your classical buy now, pay later kind of thing. But it's just because you're approving a person for a credit card or a credit line beforehand. So if you take the UPI transactions and take a small sliver of that and convert it into an option where the customer can pay you back at the end of the month, that volume is huge. Because you don't have to solve for the access to that customer and the merchant. That UPI rails is solved. What you have to solve for is how do I give that customer the option of a credit, small credit. The innovation has to be around that, and this is why the market, like just every month, if you just take a 1% of UPI transaction, convert that into a credit, it's a huge.
So like it makes things very easy. It's very convenient. But do you think that it will increase the debt trap?
I get that question a lot. See, I think just by the fact that you are giving people credit on UPI and UPI made it so accessible, so the thought process, if UPI is so easy to access, credit on UPI also will be easy to access, so I will get credit very easy. I think there's a flaw in that argument because you are not changing your underwriting standards. You are not saying that just because I'm giving you a UPI and credit, I should approve Anuj when Anuj should not have been a person. So the underwriting standard does not change. So if I am a risky customer and I should not be given 10,000, I should not be given 10,000 rupees.
Right.
Period. It doesn't matter whether you use it for UPI or whether you use it for credit card or use it for personal loan, use it for whatever. It doesn't matter. So as long as you are not changing those underwriting standards, which the RBI and the banks and the NBFC, the fintechs are all paranoid about it. We all hold, all our work is around ensuring that the underwriting standards and collection standards don't go down. As long as you maintain that, you're not increasing the risk in the system.
True.
Today, that customer who was easily accessible through UPI rails and now can get credit easily, in the past was not taking credit through this channel, but the need was not going away. So that person was probably taking unsecured credit, borrowing from a friend or a family or a money lender at very high interest rates. So at least you'll be able to convert a large chunk of that into the formal financial ecosystem where the interest rates are not so egregious. So I think it's probably going to be a win-win. So I don't subscribe to that view that it will just increase the debt trap of the customer.
Also, at the same time, at Freo, you are one of the first digital lenders who came up with the concept of, like credit line approval. So what are other products you have in pipeline?
Yeah, so I think we launched credit line as a concept on the app about a few years ago. We've been doing that very successfully. But over the years, we have launched a few other products as well. So credit on UPI is a big one for us. RuPay cards is going to be a big one. We already had a regular credit line bank. We already had credit cards. But these are all, I should say, merchant-specific products, right? Which is that credit on UPI, a RuPay credit card.
Right.
And because of that, you need to have your UPI as well. As Freo, we are also gone in the digital banking side. So we partner with a small finance bank to open savings account for our customers, where people can deposit money. We have FDRDs, people invest money. We want to go deeper in that entire world, how people can save their money better. And credit is something that we've been doing for many years anyway. So put all of this together, we have verticals of pay, we have verticals of save, borrow, and maybe tomorrow insurance and wealth as well. So that's what.
Right. Also at Freo, how do you ensure that the customer you have get the fine line and really understands the product before really signing on?
So I think if you download the app at the time of going to the App Store or iOS, there's a ton of material that explains what the product is. Right. Then once you download the app as well, then there's the entire onboarding process for the customer, which is where we also ensure that the customer is told about what the product is. Along the way, the customer gets stuck anywhere, we send push notifications or WhatsApp notification to say that, hey, you're stuck on this process. This step is required for you to go to the next step, for you to do this. So there's some, not the entire product, but the micro explanation of what is required, where we are. Once you get signed up, then we ensure that the customer has like a virtual tour of the entire app. You do this, you do this, you do this. I think amongst all of this, you're able to broadly cover. Of course, after that, some people may have understand, and then when they do reach out to us on our customer support, we try and help them out. But I think broadly, you get covered by just these few steps.
All right. Coming to the last question, what according to you are some common online frauds that the customers should actually watch out for?
I think the biggest thing that you can do to stop frauds is don't share OTPs. If you look at it, everything today is getting authenticated with some OTP or the other, right? So whether it is 2-year authenticated Aadhaar, whether it's authenticated PAN, whether it's to authenticate your UPI,
right,
or whether it's your credit card bills, everything is two-factor authentication. So there's maybe I should add PIN and OTPs.
Sure.
Don't ever share your PIN or OTPs in any public forum or to anybody who asks you, unless it's your family. You should not, because it doesn't matter. You can take my Aadhaar number, that's not a problem. But unless and until I give you access to my OTP or my whatever else, you can't do anything about it. And a lot of fraud is where it's authenticated with a OTP or with a PIN. And so two-factor says that what you have and what you know. What you have is your credit card or your Aadhaar number. Let's assume that gets leaked out because it's some photograph. Right. But then it should be protected with what you know, which is your PIN or your OTP or whatever. Right. That if you share, then you go in on various stuff.
All right, Anuj, thank you so much for this insightful conversation.